Okay, so thank you for joining us for the 9th episode of
Pharm Girls.
Today, our VIP Fan Jie is in the studio with us,
Nice.
and so you may hear him jump in too. We're excited to have you here today, Fan Jie. Yeah.
We're going to be talking about the NCPA meeting in Kansas City that myself, Raj, and Fan Jie attended in October.
Mm-hmm. We're going to be talking to Fan Jie today, who's going to be our VIP.
Yeah.
We're excited to talk to him and hear about what his journey has been like with us at the MPA, which is sometimes crazy.
Yeah.
Learning about all things pharmacy in Nebraska, and then we'll also learn more about pharmacy in Malaysia.
Yeah, that'll be great.
Yeah.
We're going to be giving you an update on what we're proposing for the 2023 legislative session.
Yep. And we'll let you know what events are coming up for the rest of the year, along with some information on renewing your membership and donating to the PAC.
Yeah.
Okay, so the NCPA meeting.
Right.
Tell us about what that was about and what great things you learned there.
Okay, so NCPA stands for the National Community Pharmacists Association, and Fan Jie and I we had the privilege of hearing the Federal Trade Commission Chairman, Lena Khan, speak. Fan Jie, you want to talk a little bit about what she was there to talk about?
Yeah, sure. So I think that is the session that I enjoyed the most. And Ms. Khan talk about vertical integrations practice when it comes to pharmacy and pharmacy benefit managers.
Right.
And these terms are quite new to me, but I understand that it's a very important work that she's doing to ensure a fair and square business practice in pharmacy.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was really cool to see her in person. So that was really great.
Cool.
We've never really interacted as a profession with the FTC before, so that was really cool. Another one of their keynote speakers was Captain D. Michael Absheroff. And he wrote a book called It's Your Ship. And I ordered it.
Yeah.
And it's management techniques from the best damn ship in the Navy. This book is easy to read, and I have really enjoyed it. I'm learning a lot about leadership, and so it's a good book. He was a great speaker too. The one other speaker that Fan Jie saw is quite a social media sensation.
Oh.
Will Flannery. Remember, he's Dr. Glaucoma Flecken. And
you showed me a YouTube video.
Yes, he has recorded a lot of very, very, very funny videos about health insurance, health care, PBMs, and he had quite a story, Fan Jie, didn't you think? I mean, personally, he had quite a story.
Yeah, I think coming from someone who is at his age, he definitely endured quite a lot. All these life challenges, he suffered terminal illnesses for quite a few times. He had to overcome so many challenges to earn his medical degree, to specialize in ophthalmology, and he was doing all this while he was trying to bring fun and joy to people by engaging in comedy. So I guess that's something very special, and I hope he keeps doing it so that he can get more people to be engaged in meaningful discussion when it comes to healthcare.
Oh, absolutely. So that was fun, but it was really interesting to learn more about him.
Sometimes we have to throw fun into to some of these things.
Yeah, make it a little more entertaining.
Like we do.
Yeah, absolutely.
The other thing about NCPA, one of the things you were saying, Fan Jie, was that in Malaysia, that's not necessarily a thing that's done there a lot, is big conventions like this.
Not that I attend healthcare conferences very frequently in Malaysia, but I must say that was by far the largest conventions or conference that I've attended. So they have keynote sessions, general sessions, and at the same time, they have many other product features, quick consults, and even an exhibition. And when I walk around the exhibition, there were so many products, so many healthcare services that I have not heard of and come across before.
Okay, yeah, sure.
Cool. So it's probably cool networking for you just to talk to some of the people and see some of the stuff. Yeah.
See what some of the things were. There were a lot of computer software vendors there, a lot of computer software.
Yeah.
So, we all get swag when we go to exhibits.
Yes, we do.
We get swag. What one thing did you bring home?
The stickers.
Oh yeah, the stickers.
Oh yeah, you guys got fun stickers.
There were a lot of fun stickers.
Yeah, there were a lot of fun stickers.
And of course, the other interesting services and the people that I managed to talk to. So one of it would be a digital platform for us to engage with patients. So I find it fascinating that the amount or the degree of using digital services when it comes to pharmacy services, it's quite high here. So that's one thing that I hope to learn more about and hopefully to be able to apply it in my home country.
Sure.
Yeah, because that's one of the things you came here to learn a little bit more about was
Yeah.
digital platforms. Yeah.
And you're interested in that.
Yeah.
That's something that interests you, definitely.
Yeah.
Yep. So
Yeah.
overall, I guess it was a fruitful journey for me.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. Fan Jie got to meet some of the folks from the other state pharmacy associations.
Nice.
He actually got to meet Doug Hoy, who is the CEO of NCPA.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, that was kind of fun. You know, he didn't even have a name tag on or anything, just walking through the hall and looked like your average guy. And
Yeah, he was.
I spotted him and I said, "Hey, I want you to meet somebody, Fan Jie."
Yeah, if not for Marsha, I wouldn't have recognized him. Wouldn't have known that. Oh, he is the main guy behind this conference.
Yeah,
The whole NCPA.
Yeah.
Which is cool. It was fun that you were able to be here for that too.
Absolutely.
At that time. Yeah.
Yeah, we went to a few receptions.
Yep.
Yep, had some drinks and some snacks. It was a good time.
Shook
We,
some
Yeah.
hands.
shook some
Held some
hands,
And
babies.
took some
took
photos.
some photos.
Oh, yeah.
Exchange
oh,
name
yeah. You guys had
cards.
some good photos too.
Yeah, we did. It was a good time. I'm glad that we were able to go to Kansas City for that.
Yeah. So the legislative committee met at the end of September, and then our board confirmed the items we're going to be focusing on for the 2023 legislative session.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about what we talked about in that
Okay.
meeting.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, the legislative committee is the most active committee that we have at the
sure.
Pharmacists
Yeah.
Association. We've got lots of members and lots of good engagement.
Yeah, I think 40 some people were on this meeting, and it's
Yeah.
at 7:30 in the morning. So you would think that'd be the least amount of people
Right. Right.
in a committee, but yeah, 40 some people were on that meeting. So which
Yeah.
is amazing because people really do care about what we are bringing to the legislative sessions. They
Absolutely.
want to have a voice in the things that we're trying to change. So
It's so true. It's so true. I know that the Pharmacists Association and our board of directors is committed to bringing several items forward. We'll just talk about a couple of them. So, for example, obviously having pharmacy technicians administer vaccines
Right,
is
right.
at the top of our list. We tried to introduce that bill last year, and the Health and Human Services Committee wanted a little more information.
right.
So we went through that process between sessions, and
And we should have all that ready to go
Yeah.
by the time we're
all ready to go by
Time
the
January
time
comes around.
Yep, when January comes around, there's always updates to the controlled substance schedules, so we'll do
Right.
that. We are most likely will bring another PBM bill.
okay.
Yeah,
Right.
there's still some things that our PBM bill didn't cover last time, so we'll have a PBM bill. And there's a couple other issues in particular that we will be working on. And some of the items, you know, we introduced the bill, and with Bob Hallstrom, our lobbyist,
Right.
he spends a lot of time talking to the senators and myself. But there are other folks that are bringing forward legislation that we will be watching as well, including, you know, there's some folks that would like to have their central fill pharmacy be able to mail directly to patients.
Okay.
And that you know seems like a very good idea actually for
Right.
the way that our profession is going. We definitely are going to support the Hospital Association in their efforts to prohibit white bagging.
Right, right. Which they brought last year also, and then needed to do some things to
Right.
readdress that this year.
Right.
Then,
Yeah. So those are just a couple of the things that we have on our legislative agenda, and you know would love to hear additional information. We'll be calling on people to come for hearings to testify,
right.
and so
And
yeah.
send letters if we need them to.
Send
and-
letters
yeah.
and reach out to their senators. Absolutely.
Right.
So yeah,
And if-
lots going on there.
If that's ever something that you're interested in too, you can always reach out to us
Yeah.
about being on that committee too.
Yes, be on the committee, or even donate or contact your state senator.
Yeah.
When the time is right. So yeah, it's all good.
For sure. Okay, so as we said, we have a great VIP with us today,
Yes.
Fan Jie. He's here with us from Malaysia. Fan Jie is a Waisili Professional Fellow at the American Council of Young Political Leaders.
Wow, that's
which
a
is the
that's a mouthful. You did good.
ACYPL.
Right.
Yes.
Good job.
Interested in healthcare and policy making.
Yeah.
By the time this airs, he'll be back in Malaysia, and we'll be crying.
Yes.
And we've been having such an amazing time with him. We'll be super sad to see you go.
Yeah.
It was like he was made to work with us at the
yeah.
MPA.
Yeah.
We couldn't have asked for a better fit.
Right.
I think within the first 10 minutes of me meeting him anyway,
Yeah.
he said a joke. And so I was like, okay, he's going to fit in here.
Yeah.
He definitely can
Yeah.
be a little nutty like we are. So that's good.
Yeah.
He gets us.
I love it.
So he's currently a hospital pharmacist in the Ministry of Health Malaysia. He also works on public policy advocacy in nonprofit organizations such as Higher Education Malaysia Association and Malaysian Health Coalition, focusing on education, healthcare, and public governance. In addition, he is also a product lead at a Malaysian digital health startup where he works on building a virtual medication counseling platform.
Wow.
And in his spare time,
What spare
he
time?
juggles cars. Yeah, what spare time?
Oh
That's
my
a lot.
gosh. So Fan Jie, tell us a little bit about what you do in Malaysia as a pharmacist. What does your normal day look like as a pharmacist in Malaysia?
Okay, so I work as a hospital pharmacist in Malaysia. So it's a tertiary care hospitals, and I believe it's called Hospital and Health System here in the US.
Okay.
So I am placed under the logistic pharmacy unit, whereby I'm in charge of the procurement and distribution of not just pharmaceutical products, but also medical supplies of the whole hospital.
Wow.
So at the same time, pharmacists in Malaysian hospital would have to work on call shifts. So I sometimes work in emergency department for a night shift, and sometimes I will have to dispense medications to patient in the outpatient setting. So there are so based on what I observe here, there are certain differences, but ultimately the pharmacy professions across different borders, there are certainly similarities.
Yeah, because here that's a little different. We're in a hospital. If there's an outpatient clinic, you're probably just the outpatient clinic
right.
pharmacist, and then you've got your inpatient pharmacist. And I think even is the emergency room department even separate from that.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit different.
Yeah, our pharmacists here have to specialize to be able to work in the emergency room. So you get to go everywhere. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, I think one of the main challenges of being a hospital pharmacist in Malaysia is to be flexible. Like in my daily job, as I work in procurement, the logistics unit, so I don't really come across with clinical terms, lab values, and dosages or renal dose adjustment for certain drugs. But that doesn't mean that I can forget this knowledge. So let's say if I work during night shift in the emergency department, or if I'm counseling a patient while dispensing at outpatient. So all this knowledge on medications, on drugs, I will still have to remember them, because after all, that I guess is the core of being a pharmacist.
Right.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Being the drug experts.
Right.
Yeah.
And one thing I'm going to add in here real quick. So I know when you were talking about your schooling, so tell us a little bit about how that's different than here, because we talked about that when you first got here. So you went to what we would call like undergraduate college. And so you did that. Was it 2 years or 4 years that you guys do that for?
4 years. So
4 years.
I have a Pharm degree, and I think this is quite different from almost all of the pharmacists that I met here. All of them have PharmD degree. So in Malaysia, after finishing pre-university education, so we will step into tertiary education to obtain a bachelor's degree. So in Malaysia, the Pharm degree takes 4 years, and after that, you have to pass a law exam, and you have to undergo pre-registration training for 1 year. So I
Okay.
did my pre-registration training in the hospital setting, and after that 1 year training, so I finally became a fully registered pharmacist.
Okay. So really, it's 4 years of schooling and then a year of training, or what we
Yep.
almost have a residency.
Yeah, or
sort of
rotations.
Or rotations.
So in
yeah.
your training, were you in just one practice site?
No, we were rotated in 6 to 8 different units in a hospital, depending on what pharmacy services is available in the hospital. So like for my training, I did my rotations in inpatient, outpatient, drug information services,
Okay.
therapeutic drug monitoring, clinical pharmacy, and last but not least, logistic pharmacy.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So do you have a lot of community pharmacies there? What we would call like independent pharmacies? Is that, because I know here, especially like in Lincoln or Omaha, we have so many pharmacies between independent, community, chain.
Right.
Do you have that there too?
Same.
It's almost the same. So community pharmacies can be broadly classified into 2 categories. You have independent pharmacies and also chain drug stores.
Okay.
So in Malaysia, a pharmacy graduate can also choose to undergo his or her pre-registration training for 1 year as well in the community pharmacy setting.
Okay. So you pick which of those that you're going to do, hospital or community.
Yep,
Okay.
that's correct.
Okay, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
So also one of the things you wanted to learn about while you were here was medical marijuana. And
Yes.
kind of how that is working here. Nebraska is a little harder of a state to get some of that passed. But what is happening in Malaysia with this, and what have you learned about it while you've been here? So like, what made you want to learn about that while you're here?
Okay, so I guess my timing to be here at the Nebraska Pharmacists Association couldn't be better because right now my country is looking to legalize and regulate cannabis for medical use only. So the reason I say that this is one of the best timing to be here is because being in the NPA, and NPA is very well connected, so I get to be able to engage in conversations and also dialogue with different pharmacists and subject matter experts from different practice settings. And one thing which really makes me feel fascinated is that although I am placed in Nebraska, but as a lot of people told me, in US you have 50 states, so 50 ways of doing things. So even though
That's a good way to look at it. I've never thought of it that way. Yeah.
but when it comes to legalization of medical cannabis, even though I'm placed in Nebraska, but because of the network and connections that NPA has, so I'm able to have conversations with pharmacists from other states as well.
Right.
And 50 states, some of them have legalized cannabis for medical use and or recreational use.
Right.
So there were a lot of success stories and also failures in getting medical cannabis legalized. So I find this opportunity very unique because even though I don't have to travel across the US, but
Right.
just being in Nebraska, but I'm able to gain insights and have meaningful dialogue with people from different states when it comes to legalization of medical cannabis.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, is recreational marijuana a big thing in Malaysia?
No. In fact,
okay.
it is one of the biggest concerns that people have when we talk about legalization of medical cannabis.
Okay.
So, which is why one of my focus is to learn about how we can legalize cannabis solely for medical purposes
Right.
only, while mitigating unintended usage such as
Right.
for recreational purposes.
Okay.
Right.
Because I mean, here I think we're kind of the opposite. It is such a big thing for recreational use
Yep.
that's where some states are like, well, it's not legal here, so we don't want it to be legal for medical marijuana
Right.
use either.
Right.
Basically, because
Yeah.
it is such a widely used drug here.
Yeah, it is crazy that all 50 states do it completely differently.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So, Fan Jie, since you've been here, what things are you noticing that are similar in pharmacy as they are in Malaysia?
Similar? Well, I would say the practice settings are the same, like you have hospital and health systems, ambulatory care, and industry, and community pharmacy. So these are the common practice settings in Malaysia as well. So, and then other than that, I would say I noticed the same kind of passion among US pharmacists to serve their patients. So I think this is something that we as pharmacists should always have, and to continue to bring value adds to the patients around us.
Oh, I like that. Yeah.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah.
So we talked a little bit about the similarities, and what about the differences in pharmacy in Malaysia versus here in the United States or Nebraska?
I would say three main differences. So the first one is that I'm really fascinated by the amount of automations or digitalizations that is used when it comes to providing pharmacy services. So machines that are used in hospital for filling medications, for dispensing medications, or for patient communications. These are all technologies that I have not come across frequently in Malaysia.
Okay.
And then the second thing would be the pharmacy benefit managers. So when I first came here, when people talk about PBM, I thought, oh, what's that? What's PBM?
Right.
So,
Right.
and then they told me, oh, it stands for pharmacy benefit manager. So I got even more.
You were like,
so
that didn't help me out at
Right.
all.
Yeah.
Still don't know what that means.
Yeah, what does it mean? So so I think this is an interesting phenomenon, and different people, they have different views on PBM, but I hope that whatever views people hold, whatever it is, I still hope that at the end of the day, patient care should remain the top priority for all pharmacists, not just in the US, but also in the rest of the world.
Right.
And then the third thing would be I find that the insurance industry is quite influential here in the US.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I mean, we do have private insurance in Malaysia, but they are not the main payer in our healthcare industry, because Malaysia has a national or public healthcare service, which is fully funded by the federal government. So although there are people who purchase private insurance for themselves, but it's just not that prevalent when it comes to when I as what I notice here in the US. So I would say that insurance players, they have a very big influence when it comes to what services or what drugs gets to be reimbursed. So again, I hope that the industry, the pharmaceutical industry, and also the insurance industry can work hand in hand to always ensure that at the end of the day, patients will be the ones who benefit the most from our services.
Right. I agree.
And I think that's kind of one of the things with white bagging too. That's kind of one of the big things, is that that the pharmacists, doctors are worried that we're not taking the patient's care into consideration sometimes while we're doing that.
Yeah.
So now, would you say, I know here in America we have a lot of feelings about socialized medicine. Yeah.
Sure.
So is that more what it's like in Malaysia? It is, because the government is really, and do you feel like there's any less quality of care because it's done that way?
What do you mean by socializing medicines?
That's kind of what we call it here.
Right. Right. That there's more of a single payer.
Right, like the government kind of is in charge of
Right.
how that works, basically. Where here, that's not really the case. So it's more so that with socialized medicine, you're guaranteed that you're going to have health services, correct?
Right.
Where here, that's not necessarily the
No,
case.
a lot of Americans only have health insurance because it's tied to their job.
Yeah, otherwise you wouldn't necessarily have health insurance. You
Right.
might be able to sign up for Medicaid,
Depending on income.
depending on income, though, or you have to, like I was through the exchange is how I had health care before. But again, that's based on your income also, and having to sign up for it, that kind of thing. So that's different here, where again it is, even just for our own health, insurance kind of plays a...
It's a private industry here.
Right.
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think based on my personal experience after spending 3 weeks time with the NPA, I find that the American healthcare system is very complicated and complex for me. Yeah, it took me, and in fact, I'm still I still find it challenging to understand different players, what's their role, and how does the whole healthcare system works when it comes to even if we talk about pharmacy services only. So as I said, in Malaysia we have a public healthcare system, mainly fully funded by the government. So like Amy mentioned, so every Malaysian citizen, or if you are a refugee with UNHCR status, you'll be entitled to public healthcare at a very low cost. So, but it's very different here in the US. So there are a lot of criteria when it comes to receiving healthcare benefits, and also not to mention the private the private insurance companies. So I just hope that before I go back, I will gain more knowledge to understand more about the American healthcare system.
Well, if we can teach you that in the next week, it'll be a miracle.
The worst part about it is, from what I can tell and what I read, we have one of the most expensive healthcare systems in the country, and the quality of the care is not parity to the cost. So we have a long way to go.
If we figure out the health insurance, and I think that's whether you're just the lay person who needs insurance, whether you're a pharmacist, whether you're a doctor, it's confusing to everybody.
It is. It's just confusing to everybody. Yeah.
I think the word insurance makes people be like, ooh, yeah.
I don't want to. I don't want to even mess with that.
Mess with it, right? Okay, so we've done so many fun things while Pharm Jie's here.
Yeah.
He is, I said, when we were getting out of the car earlier, I said, he's going to go back to Malaysia and need to nap for a week.
Yeah, I think I would
he has been so busy.
Break.
I don't even know how he's still standing at this point. Yeah.
He's done a lot.
So some of the things that we've done, and he's done this with his other fellows that are here too, because there's 3 other people that are here with you with the Waisili program. So we did some events with them, and then they've done some, so it's kind of a whole big thing.
Kinds of stuff.
But you went to your first Husker football game.
Yes.
You went with Raj, who was also his first Husker football game, which was fun. You guys had a lot of fun there.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, and he tried his first red beer there.
Yeah,
right,
and
under
red
his red hot dog. Yeah.
Wearing red shirt and red cap. But
nice.
It's surprising that I was actually looking for the corn hat, but surprisingly there weren't too many people wearing that.
Wearing those, yeah.
But fortunately, Marsha has one in her house, and I managed to get that cross off my checklist.
Right, we've got a picture, which we will do a huge photo dump at the end of Pharm Jie's time here, because we have so many photographs.
Well, and on your list of things that you wanted to do while you were here in the United States was have a Bud Light.
Yeah, I had a Bud Light, and it.
And what did you realize about that?
Like water.
Yeah, he realized he would rather have Bud Heavy, which is what we call it here, which is just Budweiser to him. That's what he drinks in Malaysia. Then let's see. You also went to the Omaha Henry Dorley Zoo this weekend, which is
a few stingrays, and
that's so
get
fun,
to saw some cheetahs and alligators and crocodile. And I finally realized the difference between a crocodile and an alligator.
Yeah.
Thanks to the explanation at the zoo.
Okay, I don't think I know the difference between an alligator and a crocodile.
It's the shape of their snout. What else?
And the location of their fork teeth.
Oh, their teeth?
Their teeth.
Yeah, their fork teeth.
The front teeth.
I didn't know that. Well, and yeah.
I don't know if I would know if I looked.
You know what? If I saw one, I wouldn't ask its name. I would run like
just
run.
I wouldn't say.
You wouldn't have time to.
Out if this is an alligator or a crocodile.
Just want to know who's threatening my life here.
Right. Yeah. And then, so last week too, we got to go axe throwing and did an escape room together as a group at work with our rotation students.
Yeah.
Which was a lot of fun. We did get out of the escape room with 15 minutes to spare.
We rocked it.
Yeah, so we won. We had the hardest room and we still won.
It was great.
We've got some great pictures too of Pharm Jie getting some bullseyes with the axe throwing too. It took us all a minute to get that down, but we got it, so watch out.
Yeah, that was good.
you rode on a combine.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went out to a farm.
Yeah.
And you were surprised by that. That's a big piece of machinery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I've
it's
never been on a combine.
humongous, so big, and I have to climb I don't know how many steps in order to climb up to the control room of the machine.
Oh my gosh.
Fun. And then, of course, he's experienced all sorts of American foods and drinks. We've tried to show him all different things, from Amigos to Runza to he's had Yaya's Pizza and Honest Abe's, which he had the greatest burger alive
Ever.
or ever
It was
or
like,
something.
oh.
Yeah, well, that's what it's called. So he
The
can go
greatest
back there
burger
and say
ever.
it's the
Okay,
greatest
that's what
burger
you
ever.
ordered there.
Yeah, he ordered that there.
All right.
And then we shared a traditional Thanksgiving dinner, which he's
Yeah.
actually done that twice now because he did that this weekend too. So
Yeah.
he said Thanksgiving twice in a week, which is
Wow.
a lot for a lot
That's
of
a
people.
lot.
And you liked that. What was your favorite things about Thanksgiving dinner? Because is that different? That's probably completely different food than
Yeah.
what he's having in Malaysia. But
Yeah, so thanks to Marsha, I have my first experience of Thanksgiving dinner in my lifetime, and my favorite food would be the turkey, of course.
Yeah.
yeah, the turkey was good.
It was
Yep,
good.
the turkey,
Nice.
so good.
And he got pumpkin pie. He had green bean
Oh.
casserole.
Oh yeah,
all the
fixins.
things that you have to have. Canned cranberry sauce, which
Yep.
I'm not sure why you have to have that, but
I love it. That's why.
but it's it's still there. So what else? Is there anything else that you did that you just loved here, and what have you loved about your trip so far? Just as far as even fun things or the NPA or anything.
Well, I think I'm glad that every encounter with every human being here, they were very good. And I noticed that people here in Nebraska, they are all very friendly. So it could be very casual as well. So in Malaysia, you don't usually talk to strangers unless unless that person
Don't talk to strangers.
yeah drop something or
Right.
like
Right.
You're not just walking down the sidewalk and then being like, "Hey, how's it going?"
Yeah, so I find that even though it's just a cashier, a person who works at a cashier, or just anyone who you walk past when you are at the grocery store, so you can strike up a conversation with that person fairly easily. So
Yeah.
people generally, they were very friendly, very casual, and it makes me feel like I'm being welcomed here. It means something. Being a non-American here in Nebraska.
Oh, good. That's nice.
That's
yeah,
very
which a lot
nice.
of people say that which they do say it's one of the friendliest places. I mean, a lot of people move here because they do feel like it is friendly. It's got good school systems,
Right.
and so that's good to hear because it is weird. When I lived in Arizona, it was like you didn't see your neighbors outside a lot. Kids weren't outside playing all the time. You didn't necessarily say just random hellos to people, which we do a lot here.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, one of the things too that you talked about was, which you just said that a little bit about Nebraska and kind of why you like Nebraska. And I had said to him the other day, we were getting out of the car and I was like, oh gosh, I thought I was going to get hit by a car. So I was like, don't break your leg because you have to go back to Malaysia. But you said you actually liked it here. And some of the other fellows too said they loved some of the things about Nebraska itself. Like, it was so green.
Yeah.
I know Nandar and Joe both said they wanted to come back at Christmas time because they thought it would be cool to see what it's like here for Christmas. So what are some of the things about like Nebraska as far as landscape and stuff that you found different or that you've liked here?
Well, being here in Lincoln, I would say the most notable difference would be no traffic congestions.
Right.
So because I live in Kuala Lumpur, which is Malaysia's capital.
Right.
So when it comes to peak hours, rush hours, even during non-rush hours, you could still experience traffic congestion.
Okay.
So traffic congestion, it's something that I think so far I've never experienced it here in Lincoln.
We'd have to take you to LA or
Yeah. And I think in Lincoln, it's a pretty nice city because wherever you want to go is not too far away, and
Yeah,
it's
that's very true. Yeah.
accessible by car. So whereas in Malaysia, if you want to travel from one part of the city to another part, you probably have to get on the highway and pay toll fees. But
okay.
I think Lincoln is a the size of Lincoln City, it's just nice that if wherever you want to go, whether it's the Haymarket or MPA or the gym, so they are not too far away from each other.
Right. Yeah,
Raj will like
everything's
he
pretty
mentioned
close.
the gym.
He will like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Raj
Yeah.
took him to the gym too.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because of course you got to go to the gym.
You got to go to the gym. The one thing you've mentioned, Fan Jie, is well, first of all, I think that poor Fan Jie is freezing to death when it's only 78 degrees Fahrenheit
Yeah.
here.
Yeah. And we have the air conditioning on.
And we
at
have the
same
air
time.
conditioning
Yep.
on. Yes, but you were talking about the portions of food.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So when I first arrived in US, so I went to Washington DC first.
Oh, yeah,
so my first meal, I was shocked because the portion, I think, that's almost 2 times of my normal portion in Malaysia. So the amount of rice and the amount of dish, oh my god, it's just so big. And but I don't know now. Now I find that I'm slowly getting used to the portion. I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Is it because the other restaurants that I went, their food portion was smaller, or because
Right.
I'm already used to
Getting used to it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
getting used to a bigger portion here.
Right.
And I find that I've actually gained weight throughout after spending four weeks in US. So
We have to buy him new pants to
I
go
know,
back home.
I
Yeah.
know.
yeah, so this is actually one of my goals to gain weight here in America, and I'm glad that I'm able to do it, and I look forward to add more pounds before I return to Malaysia.
We've got a goal now.
I know.
We gotta fatten him up in the
We
next
can
week.
do it.
Yeah.
We can do it. Stick with us, Fan
That's
Jie.
right.
Sure.
We'll get you there.
Well, it's been a pleasure having you with us for the month and on the show today. We wish you could keep you longer. I'd keep him forever if we could.
Me too. Me too.
We'll just move your mom here.
Yeah.
And
I
then you
wish I
guys
could
just
stay longer
stay
as
in
well.
Nebraska. Yeah, you just come to Nebraska and live. And obviously come back anytime.
Sure.
You are welcome here with us. We'll put you up,
Absolutely.
find you a place to stay.
Yeah, and hopefully I'll get to come to Malaysia.
Yeah, so
and
tell us a little bit about
learn
that.
more
Yeah.
about pharmacy. Well, Fan Jie and I, really Fan Jie, worked on a proposal for me to go to Malaysia and
Yeah.
for a short period of time.
Right, because it's the
And-
same sort of program,
Yeah,
right?
it's
Where
like an
someone from
exchange
here
program.
can go back to
Right.
Malaysia then
Yeah.
and learn,
Yeah,
which would be cool.
it'd be very cool.
I think one thing interesting about this program is that other than Southeast Asian fellow coming here to the US, so we'll be given a chance to host our US fellow back in our home country as well. So like Marsha mentioned, we work on a proposal, and this proposal contains an in-person visit component. So if this project receive funding, so Marsha will be traveling to Malaysia, and
That'd be fun.
it will be a great opportunity for me to expose her to the pharmacy and also the healthcare services in Malaysia,
Yeah.
and just as the same as what I learned here in US.
Yeah,
yeah.
that would be really cool.
That would be fun.
I know.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed. That's
Yeah.
right. Okay, so we're gonna jump into some events that we have coming up now.
Yeah, we have some events coming up. This is a little bit late notice, but on November 1st, today, Biogen is going to be hosting a program on major depressive disorder and postpartum depression, which we've been promoting.
Oh, right.
So,
okay.
yeah, anybody who's followed our Facebook page,
And that's a webinar.
and that's a webinar.
Okay.
On Tuesday, November 8th at 7:15 p.m., Owen Mumford is going to be back to talk more
cool.
about use of pen needles in institutions
Oh, cool.
like
Okay.
long-term care and hospitals. I'm really excited for PCCA is going to give a webinar on the biggest opportunities in compounding on November 29th.
Very cool.
And otherwise, other things that are coming up will be the NPA will be at the Board of Pharmacy meeting on November 7th.
Cool. Let's see, and we've got one November 14th
Right.
at 5 p.m. Now, this is for people that want to basically be what Raj is right now
Right,
for us.
right.
So it's a webinar about fellowship opportunities in a state association.
Right.
So the executive fellowship, which is what Raj is doing with us right now. Our hope is to keep him on
forever.
Also.
But we might look for another fellow.
But we would look for another fellow, yeah. So that's Monday, November 14th at 5 p.m., and that will be webinar-based also.
Right,
so if you think that might be something.
It's not just Nebraska Pharmacists Association. Right. It's a bunch of state pharmacy associations that have gotten together and are going to talk about their executive fellow.
Yeah.
Their fellowship and what their opportunities are.
And so Raj will be on there, and then other fellows from the other states.
Yeah, get to talk about their experiences. So that'll be really good if anybody's interested in doing a fellowship at the NPA or at another state association.
Right. And just ask Fan Jie. We are just a fun bunch to work with.
We are fun.
Yeah, we are.
We are fun. Absolutely. And I'm super excited. Raj and I are going to go in early December to ASHP mid-year in
Raj
Las Vegas.
Stoked on that,
Yeah. Going to go to Las Vegas.
We're going to let Raj and Marcia go to Las Vegas by themselves.
I know. Without adequate adult supervision.
Right, yeah. We're sending Kurt. He's
my
sort
husband.
of an adult.
My husband will be there. Yes, and Natalie's coming, I think. So anyway, we'll have a little bit of supervision, but they can't watch us all the time, is what I tell Raj. They can't watch us all the time. Yes, absolutely.
And then we also want to remind everyone that it's that time of the year for everyone to renew their membership.
Yeah.
The membership dues will be increasing starting January 1st. We haven't done that for forever.
Right.
And as we know, that's kind of what's happening in the world today. Things are costing more money.
Yeah.
But if you renew by the end of the year, you can still get the current pricing.
Right.
So definitely get renewed. Or if you're not a member, join.
A good time to join.
Too.
Join before,
join before January.
Before the end of the year. And if you join before the end of the year, we will extend somebody's membership.
Oh, right.
So if they join in November, they'll get membership through December of that year, and then through December of the next year.
Right.
Yeah. We'll extend it so that if somebody joins now, they don't just get 2 months. They'll get a year plus
through the end of 2023.
Yeah.
And then also, if you renew by December 20th, you'll automatically be entered into a drawing for one of 4 $50 Amazon gift cards.
Nice.
So
nice. I mean, some shopping cash.
Yeah. It's not shabby.
Yeah, that's not bad at all. We also want to remind everybody to donate to the Political Action Committee. If you're an NPA member, you can donate money to the PAC. That PAC funds helps us contribute to state senators who are pharmacy friendly and will help us with our issues. Right. So don't forget to donate to the PAC or donate to your state senator.
Right, which is important.
It is important.
Because that's how we get some of these bills passed.
Absolutely.
Without their support, we're kind of high and dry.
That's true. So we want their support. So make your donations,
right?
Because that does speak loudly. And we are in the middle of starting our foundation Split Your Stake.
Right.
In the Future of Pharmacy drawings for 2023. So anybody who wants to get a ticket, remember what we did? We had 20 people, only 20 tickets.
Right.
$600. Some people went together.
Right. Yeah. You can have a group of people go together for the $600.
Yeah. And every month we drew out a ticket. People donated $600, and we drew monthly for a $400 winner.
Right.
And the winner can go back in to be drawn the next month.
Yeah, you can win more than one time.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you might get more money than you actually put in.
I know. So this is a great fundraiser for the foundation.
And that goes to scholarships.
Right.
So that we can give scholarships to
pharmacy students at both Creighton and UNMC's College of Pharmacy. So
it's important.
So watch our posts and buy the lottery tickets, because I have a feeling they're going to go really fast this year. It's been a fun,
for sure.
It's been a fun drawing, and there's been a lot of people cashing checks. So watch for that.
It's always fun.
Yeah.
We want to thank again Fan Jie for being with us.
My pleasure.
It's got one more week with us here. Obviously, by the time this airs, he'll be gone, but we're excited that we've gotten to spend so much time with him and gain a new friend.
Oh my gosh!
In life too. So, thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on
Pharm Girls.